Lesson 70. The predicate nominative. In the last lesson, we studied the direct object. We learned that if a verb is a transitive verb, that is, an action verb, it can act upon something or someone, and then the thing in the sentence, that is the target of the action, we call that, in grammatical parlance, we call that the direct object. But not every kind of verb can generate a direct object. In order to generate a direct object, the verb has to be an action verb, what we call a transitive verb. So, for example, in this first example sentence, Fred chased the dog. The subject is Fred, chased is the verb, and then the word dog is the direct object. The word dog is the target of the activity being performed by Fred. The verb chased is an action verb. It's a transitive verb. So the target of that activity is the dog, and so the word dog is the direct object. But if the verb is a verb of being, it cannot take a direct object. Take a look at this second example sentence. Fred is a dog. In that sentence, Fred is the subject, just like the first sentence, but the verb here is not an action verb. Here, the verb is a verb of being. So the sentence is saying Fred is. Fred, the subject of the sentence, is not really doing anything. He's not chasing anyone. He is just being or existing. Okay, so this sentence apparently is about a dog named Fred. So the sentence is, Fred is a dog. Someone who is new to studying languages might look at that sentence and say, oh, I see. The word dog is the direct object. Fred is a dog, and so dog is the direct object. It's understandable that someone might think that. But here, the word dog is not a direct object because there's no activity being done to the dog. Instead, someone is just being or existing. The dog, whose name is Fred, is just being a dog. Fred is a dog. So in a sentence like that, when someone or something is just being something, the thing that they are being, we do not call that a direct object. We call that a special term called a predicate nominative. So in this second example sentence, Fred is a dog. The word dog is called a predicate nominative. So here's the big thing to understand for this lesson. If it's a transitive verb, that is an action verb, and it's acting upon something or someone, then that is a direct object. Like in the first sentence, Fred chased the dog. The word dog is the target of actual activity. So that's a direct object. In the second sentence, someone is just being a dog. There's no activity taking place. It's just someone is existing. So if you say, Fred is a dog, the word dog is not a direct object. It's called a predicate nominative. And this is actually a very important concept for any student of Russian because this is going to affect the way we use nouns in Russian. It's going to affect the way we add endings to the nouns to show what the function of the noun is in the sentence. So to help you gain understanding of this concept, let's work through the exercises. In number 1, Fluffy is our dog. Take a moment and think it over. Is Fluffy doing something, like doing some kind of action, or is Fluffy just being or existing? Here, Fluffy is just being or existing. That's a verb of being, and so the thing that Fluffy is being is a predicate nominative. It's not an action verb, so the word dog here is not a direct object, it's a predicate nominative. In number 2, the cat chased the dog. Here, the verb chased is an action verb. That's a transitive verb that can take a direct object. The target of the action is the dog, and so the word dog here is a direct object. In number 3, we saw the dog. The verb saw is an action verb, and so the word dog is a direct object. Same thing for number 4, feed is an action verb, and so the target of the activity is the dog, so the word dog is a direct object. Same thing for number 5, petting is a transitive verb, it's an action verb. The dog is the direct object. Watch out for number 6 though. A golden retriever is a dog. Here, there's no activity taking place, it's just someone or something is being or existing. So a golden retriever is a dog. The golden retriever is just being a dog. So the word dog is a predicate nominative. It's not a direct object. In number 7, we have an action verb, bathed, and so dog is the direct object. Same thing for number 8. Examined is an action verb, a transitive verb, and so dog is the direct object. In number 9, was is just a verb of being or existing. There's no activity taking place. It's just talking about being or existing. So the subject is Rex, was is the verb, and dog is a predicate nominative. Same thing for number 10. The verb is, which is a verb of being or existing. So friend is the subject, is the verb, and then dog is a predicate nominative because someone is just being a dog. There's no activity taking place. It's just a verb of being or existing. One last quick note. In English grammar books, you might see verbs of being or existing called linking verbs. So you may have seen that term somewhere. In my books, I try to use language that is as simple as possible. But if you want to be technical about it, you could call that kind of verb a linking verb.